Hello, and welcome to the Open Day event at the University of Bristol's School of Education. My name is Dr. William Baker. I'm a lecturer in the School of Education, and I'm also the director of the BSc Education Studies programme. In today's presentation, I'm going to try and make the case for why you should take the course, why it's particularly interesting and important. And I'm going to try and give you some information about the degree programme itself, how it's structured across 3 years, and the sorts of units and courses that you can take. I hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to responding to any questions that you might have. The BSc Education Studies programme is an interdisciplinary course that focuses on the role that education and learning play in contemporary societies and how they influence our individual and social lives. So if you take the course, you'll learn about education in a range of settings, in nurseries, schools, universities, but education and learning takes place outside of those settings as well. So we'll also look at learning and education that happens in communities and workplaces, for example. And it's a very international department, so we look at education systems in the UK, but we also look at countries in the global south, in Africa and Latin America. So you actually develop an understanding of education and how it plays out across the globe. So as it's a part of the Faculty of Social Science, it's a social science degree, we're also going to give you the social research methods you need to study education and conduct your own research projects as well. So why should you take the BSc in Education Studies? It's clearly the case that education and learning is central to the human experience. So education is central, plays a central role in virtually all contemporary societies, influences the jobs we have, the relationships we form, and how we think of ourselves. So understanding education is critical for understanding the world around us. And it is really important for understanding a whole range of contemporary issues, from climate change to racism to inequality. So studying education provides you with the tools and resources to think about a really broad range of social issues. Now, obviously it's a great course, but it's also a great school of education. The School of Education is one of the most prestigious and prominent schools of education across the whole country. And it's also a great university, also one of the best universities in the UK and part of the prestigious Russell Group. It's a very vibrant city, a very vibrant university with a dynamic student life. So it really is a great place in which to study. It's a fantastic city, and many of the students that take our course stay on to go and get graduate level jobs here because the city has such a strong labour market. So it's a great course that also provides you with great employment opportunities as well. If you do take the course, you'll be here with us for 3 years. I'm just going to talk about the first year just for a few minutes. So when you come here, we'll start off with something called education and social change. This is to try and give you a range of disciplinary perspectives on education. So for example, you look at history, philosophy, economics and sociology, how these disciplines might analyse and help us think critically about education. You'll also take a research methods module called Researching Educational Questions. In this module, you'll look at things like qualitative research, so interviewing people. Why is that important for generating data and information about the education systems that we see around us? And we provide you with other methods training in quantitative research as well. In the first year, you have 2 other modules that you have to take: Learning Lives and Introduction to Psychology of Education. Introduction to Psychology is very much focused how do people learn. Learning Lives is more focused on where learning takes place, so not only in formal settings like universities, but also in communities outside of the formal education system as well. And that provides you with a good framework and grounding for going on to the second year. You'll also get to take 2 optional units as well. We're also introducing a really exciting new unit which relates to climate change and social justice. One of the emerging strengths of the department is about the role that education can play in helping us tackle the climate emergency. The second year on the BSc Education Studies builds on and deepens the knowledge that you'll have gained through your year 1 core units. And in particular, the second year focuses on helping you understand from a variety of disciplinary perspectives education policy, which changes very rapidly in countries like the UK, and it also changes very rapidly across the globe. So we're really interested in helping you develop the skills to understand where education policy comes from, who makes key decisions, and how that kind of changes. We're also helping you to develop your research methods skills as well. So one of the courses that you'll take will actually help you develop new skills and research methods, how you might actually conduct a piece of social research to study education, and will actually give you lots of opportunities to apply this knowledge in your own projects in the second and third year as well. So it's helping you develop that specialist knowledge that you need to become experts in studying education. In your second year on the BSc Education Studies, you'll be able to choose from a range of vibrant and exciting units. Many of these units are highly interdisciplinary, they draw on ideas from education research, sociology, and psychology. Some of these units are core, which means that you have to take them, and others are optional, where you get to choose things that you're particularly interested in. The two core units so far are Researching Education in the City and Policy and Research in Education. Researching Education in the City focuses on education and how it plays out in a city like Bristol, which is a thriving, dynamic city, but also one that's highly unequal. In this unit, we give you the research methods, tools, and training that you need to be able to actually go out and carry out an empirical project and collect data. And as I've just said, policy and research in education helps develop you the skills that you need to evaluate education policy in the UK and also internationally. We recognise that students really value being able to make their own pathway through their university courses, so we've designed a wide range of optional units that you can take. Some of these are focused on more research methods, so education statistics provides you with really key skills to be able to work with numeric data in the field of education. Language and literacies and identities is a really innovative unit that looks how do people develop their language skills, their ability to read, and importantly, how does that connect to their sense of self, their sense of who they are. We're very lucky in the School of Education that we have some of the country's leading social psychologists that focus on young people and education. So the course, Social Psychology and Individual Difference, focuses on the tools that social psychologists have developed to help understand where individual and group differences emerge from. A particular strength of the department is that we're also a very prominent provider of professional training of teachers. So we have expertise in how curriculums can and should be designed. We're also a centre of excellence for research on comparative and international development. So our unit, Education Viewed from the Global South, draws on research and studies that have been conducted outside of the Anglo-American world. So a particularly kind of interesting point of reference there. One thing that is particularly important and innovative about our course is the unit Education in Practice. And that gives you the opportunity to connect your academic learning with the practice of education. And what you get to do is spend a 10-day placement in a setting where education matters. So you go to the setting and you're studying it and researching. We think this gives you really important research skills, but we also think it helps you develop really important employability skills and links with things like charities, museums, and other organisations. So we think that's a particularly useful and innovative course. In your final year on the BSc Education Studies, you'll be well placed to do more advanced kind of units and courses. The first years will provide you with the theoretical and empirical and methodological tools you need to carry out advanced study in education. We want you to expand your knowledge even further during this year, and a particularly important part of the third year is that you get to carry out your own piece of research, and this is in your dissertation. This is a longer piece of academic work that you have to do. You work closely with a member of staff in the department who's an expert in research, and this will really help you develop your transferable skills. They'll be really good if you want to go on to further postgraduate study, if you want to work in the field of education, and if you want to go on to a whole range of careers in the public and private sector. So by the end of this year, you'll have excellent critical thinking skills. You'll be able to make choices to develop specialist knowledge in various fields of education. That might be policy analysis, it might be education in the global south, it might be education systems in the UK. And we'll provide you with the research skills you need to be well placed to go and study education both in the UK and internationally. And we think that will provide an excellent springboard for whatever career that you want to go on to in the future. In your final year on the BSc in Education Studies, you're likely to be an expert in a whole range of issues relating to education. We want in your final year for you to further develop and deepen those skills and insights and expertise. One of the main ways in which we'll do that is by supporting you to carry out a dissertation. A dissertation is an independent and advanced piece of education research. You'll be working closely with an academic member of staff to come up with an idea for your own research project, and will help teach you the skills about how you might actually carry that out. This is particularly good training for going on to further postgraduate study if that's something that you're interested in. We've also designed a whole range of exciting advanced optional modules for you to take in your third years. Some of these might be specialist methods trainings like data skills and statistics in R. Others might be more theoretical or applied. Many of them relate to educational inequality, how we might understand them, study them, and how they might actually be changed or reduced. So we hope you take the course because education affects all our lives and connects to some of the biggest challenges that humanities face. It's a fantastic course that is rigorous, challenging, and exciting, and it's in a fantastic school of education, one of the leading schools of education in the country, in one of the country's leading universities. Bristol's a fantastic city to study and live in, and we hope you'll come and join us.